fire your leads manager. What do you need a leads manager for? If your leads are good enough, they should go directly from the source to the closer, depending on maybe if you're face-to-face or virtual. So that was my biggest thing, is helping people understand, like, no, bro, if the lead's good enough, let's start pitching right away.
Mhm.
There's such things as one call closes. These things happen. And if not, you should go from lead to conversation to building rapport, then do your diligence, research, whatever, and then close.
So, making a statement that we can just skip the lead manager here is a bold statement. I appreciate it.
Yep.
So what is the exact quality of the lead? Like, how are you or what about the lead makes you so confident that we can just hand this off to a closer?
The inverse side of it is, why do lead managers exist in the first place?
Sure.
I think the bulk reason why is because leads weren't qualified enough. It was mainly just, hey, this number and this name matched. So I call it a heartbeat in a home. Most VAs in wherever countries, but most VAs, people who watch this have VAs who send heartbeats in a home. They have a heartbeat, they have a home, there you go. What are you going to do with that other than clog up your system? So then you have to hire a leads manager, which is VA number 2.
Yeah.
And the VA number 2 is going to call them up and say, hey, did you at least have a price, or did you have a ballpark? Okay, they're a little bit more warmer. Now I'm going to send it to my closer, which you've really made VA number 3, because he shouldn't have been talking to 90% of them anyways. So our intake form that you saw at Collective Genius that I demoed is about 14 to 17 minutes long to complete that entire form. We're building rapport, we're creating urgency, we're finding out all their house details, but it is no small feat to keep somebody on the phone for 14 minutes in a pleasant conversation.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, we obviously get a motivation, which you talked about well in your speech, motivation, a timeline, and then 100% of every lead that I get out of my office, we get a seller asking price.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a price, and then we gauge that, we score their price, a price, a timeline, a motivation, and they finished a 14 to 17 minute call.
Yeah. So what kind of expectations are you setting for your clients on the leads that are coming across?
No higher than 1 out of 20.
Yeah.
When I send you my national, I have guys that are 1 out of 12. Occasionally somebody will send me like, hey, I'm 1 out of 7 with your leads this month. I'm like, well, next month you're going to be 1 out of 25. Like, I know how this works.
Yeah.
Like, on average, blended, you should never be higher with a Lamassu lead than 1 out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
Which still, after all that work, it means you got to go through 19 no's to get one yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the reality of it all. But I would much rather have an ecosystem where it's that consistent. And it's not like, okay, well, I got 80 leads and I couldn't get 65 on the phone and I got this. Like, I've had people call me up and they're like, hey, man, but I'm used to feeding my guys 10 to 15 leads a day. I don't know if I could do just 3 or 4. I'm like, I appreciate that. But you're used to also having your guys not get in touch with those 15 leads. Like, they're not answering, they're not real leads. So let's now have them focused on revenue producing activities. And so that's how we're so confident. We know that, hey, for every lead we send over, sub 1 out of 20 is where you should be. I have some guys that murder it, and some guys, I'm sure they're a little bit higher than 1 out of 20, but 1 out of 20 is a comfortable number.
And then as far as the quality of the lead, I know like 1 out of 20, but as far as like, are they expressing they want to sell in 30 days? Are they expressing I want to sell it for 80% of market value? Like, what are some other things you're looking at?
So I'll talk about the 3 key components: motivation, timeline, and price. I think one of the things that really irritated me about this industry is that everybody's leads from any vendor you would buy would be like, what is their motivation? Because you called with a cash offer. They would sell for the right price. It's like, gosh, how many people in this industry are accepting that on every single lead? The seller said that they would sell for the right offer. That's your motivation? How about we ask better questions? How about we train people to ask feeling questions? Hey, Mr. Jones, what would this mean to you to be able to get this property? How will you feel the day? What are you going to do the day when you leave that closing office with that big old check? So one of the things we're really good at is trying to get to the real why. And then timelines, all of our timelines are always within 90 days. And one of the things that we trade on too is it's not what you say, it's what people hear. So a lot of times you're asking people their timelines and they think, oh my gosh, well, I have to sell it. No, it's just a matter of understanding exactly, well, yeah, of course, we could put you under contract, but it's still not going to close for 90 days, and educating people. But all of our leads have a real motivation, really attempt to dig in on that, 90 days and less, and then all of them have a price. But then we train people on RDP, reactionary defense pricing. We know that every single seller is going to give us a nonsense price first. So we restate value, we restate pain from the motivation, then we command or ask for a reduction. So we're able to drive down the price prior to my affiliates ever talk to the leads. Our goal is to have 80 to 90% of all the leads that we send be sub 70% of ARV.
Yeah.
So if I send a lead to you that wants 62% and they just finished a 14 to 17 minute call, that's a Lamassu lead.
Look, guys, I'm looking at the analytics and half of you guys are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button right now.